at the Bordeaux House,
Bordeaux House.
where we were born, damn near, plumb near in the swamp.
Bordeaux House. How did it get named Bordeaux House?
Because that's the man's name that built it. The house had 4 rooms. They didn't have paint on them, so they you know, it was clapboard. I guess that's what you call the lap, where you lap the boards, 6 by 1 inch board, 6 inches by 1 inch, or 8 inches by 1 inch, pine, heart lumber, lasts 200 or 300 years. You know, you need it, lap it over, you know, so the rain can't wash down outside. And they make boats like this too, you know. The number of people we had in the house, 2 bedrooms, there's too many damn people for 2 bedrooms. And all I can figure, since there was 10 of us, and there's 2.5 years between us, the only thing I can think of that Mama and Papa had probably a 2-year-old and a baby in their room at all times.
Did you have running water?
Well, some of us young ones would grab a bucket and run to the wood to the spring, which is probably 100 yards. Downhill, 100 yards, run to the spring and get a bucket of water and run back up the hill. We had running water. But it wasn't running when it poured it in the big wash pot to wash clothes. But they hadn't invented commodes then. Mama had a chamber. Papa had a window. Mama had a chamber. But we got a epidemic of hookworms. And I didn't know what it was, but I was little, and the social people at school, I guess they tested everybody because of that. I think the whole country had, you know, the free running chickens, and I didn't know that things you can't even see can go through your skin of your feet. Mm-hmm. We're all barefooted. It's a wonder we hadn't died of everything else, and that too. I had malaria. It was malaria and earache and God knows what else. Well, after we got hookworm, we got treated. I was going to tell you about the toilet we had to build. I didn't have to build it. I was too little. Papa built a toilet out behind the barn where the ox was killed. And you remember me telling you about the ox. And it was about 100 yards on the other side of the house from the spring. But the spring was downhill.
And the toilet is uphill.
Well, after I think about it, yes. But it's 2 football fields apart.
So it's 200 yards.
Well, it might be further than that, but that's an estimate.
But outhouse.
Well, he got slabs, I'm sure they were free, from sawmills, and he did work for the sawmills, and they traded out. He took his ox to Winnebago, which is around here somewhere, and 2 or 3 places I remember, and snake logs out of the swamp. What was it? Well, he would turn the slab, which is worthless, you know.
Right.
They square up a log.
All it is firewood.
Firewood and whatever.
It's just firewood. It's scraps off the log.
Right. It's got the knots and all that.
It's got the bark and knot and all that stuff.
Well, he got the best pieces, you know, out of this batch. He probably picked up the best pieces for building this thing at the yard wherever he was getting it. And I guess he did ox. I don't remember an ox cart, but I know damn well he had one. That's the only way he could have done anything. And they got that wood in there, and they built had a handsaw, for sure. I saw him build a boat one time out of cedar log, just like the Indians did. He would burn part of it out. Little boat, little paddle canoe thing out of cedar log. I've never told you about that, have I? But he built an outhouse to try to keep us from walking in the poo, I guess. Yeah. He dug a square hole and two hole seat. That's quite, for the time, I guess, quite nice. Worked good. I was introduced to, I must have been older than I think I was. Introduced to Sears and Roebuck catalog. That's what we used for toilet tissue. And it's very slick. It don't, not as good as corn cobs at all. Not even them white ones.
Well, how far was the swamp from the house?
It's about another 200 yards.
And well, where did you keep your livestock? What kind of livestock did you have?
Well, he always had a big old sow that put out 8 or 10 pigs, and he fattened them up. He probably sold some of them. I don't think we couldn't eat that many pigs. Or I don't remember. They would fatten them things up, and he would. I remember something funny about him. He had 55-gallon drums with the top cut out, of course, and he filled it up with water and corn, and let the corn sprout. And then he threw it into the pigs, and it had been fermented. I found out later it was fermented, and it makes it better. It is already started, doing the food thing, changing. It changes into sugar, and the pigs would get drunk on it, They'd eat some of that, just dance around and squeal. I thought it was the funniest thing I ever saw was a pig. I didn't know he was drunk. I just thought he was dancing. But we came home one Sunday. See, they had the fence, and everything of ours was out here out this side. But behind the fence, he put his hog pen. Had a hog pen where he kept. He would feed the hogs there. They knew this was home. They knew him when they saw him that he was probably going to feed them, And when things got quiet, you could hear the dogs barking. He had about, I'd say, 6 red-bone hounds and a little bulldog. The little bulldog wasn't half as big as them hounds. And I asked somebody what good was a little bulldog or something. They said he'll catch the prey and hold it. He'll catch, if you're hunting bear or hogs or whatever you're hunting. But we come home from church and Papa heard his dogs way down in the swamp. You just could hear them. And he run in the house and got his gun and put on his boots and took off over the fence and was gone a while. But later on I saw that old sow. I think he told the girls that they had the hogs treed. He basically knew the sound of dogs barking if they were running something, if they were trailing it, or if they had it bayed. He knew the sound of the dogs. Any dog man will tell you, he can tell by the way the dog sounds. But that old sow didn't have no ears next time I saw her. This was a big sow too. She had pigs, good bird, but the pigs didn't mind. She didn't have no ears. The hounds probably run it till it couldn't run no further, and the bulldog just eat the ears off of it. I guess the hounds would probably grabbed it too. They could. It was a monkey see, monkey do.
Right, it's a pack thing.
Yeah, it's a pack thing. Yeah. I can remember one time that Papa was ready to kill hogs, and there was one up there really fat, by itself in the pen, and he put the single shot 22, Was it a single shot? Yeah, I guess it had to be a single shot. Bing! And it didn't kill that pig. The pig broke out and went across ways, and Papa loaded that 22 2 or 3 times and shot him on the run. And I guess he followed him then like a hunter would, a deer, following blood or something. And I don't know how far that pig run.